Hello and welcome to Inside the Owl Studio. I am pleased to announce today's interview will be with Ocular Therapeutix, one of Owl's uniting sponsors. Ocular Therapeutix is committed to redefining the retina experience across the drug development, treatment, and outcomes. Their top priority is to disrupt retinal disease treatment paradigms, starting with wet AMD, which affects 1.8 million people in the US alone. And without delay, I would like to introduce today's interviewee, Nicole Harris, Senior Vice President, Retina Marketing for Ocular Therapeutix. Nicole is an accomplished healthcare leader with more than 20 years of diverse commercial leadership experience at Astellas, Iveric Bio, Novartis, and Pfizer. Her experience spans both US and global positions across various commercial roles. Welcome to the Inside the Owl Studio, Nicole.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
We're so glad to have you. And for the audience out there today, Nicole and I will discuss specific activities and initiatives that Ocular Therapeutix are utilizing to develop rising leaders to help ensure they can bring their true selves to work. On that note, I'm going to turn it over to you, Nicole.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm really excited to be here and share how Ocular Therapeutix is working to redefine the retina experience. And when we think about rising leaders, I think there's both formal and informal ways that Ocular is really working to, I think, give experiences to the future leaders of tomorrow. So if I think of, more of the formal avenues, we have a wonderful internship program that's actually going on right now where some of these, young leaders can join the organization across multiple functions, be engaged in work streams and lead projects to really grow, develop, and challenge themselves. Some of the more informal ways at Ocular that we work on growth and development is through rotations or even leading different work streams. I know I've had the opportunity to identify talent who in their growth and development plan really wanted to come over to commercial or even marketing, and working with them on their prior experiences and creating a rotation for them to be immersed in the team, to be part of our ongoing conversations, to collaborate with other team members, and ultimately lead some of these work streams and initiatives have now given them the experience and opened up new roles for them to actually be a permanent member of the team. And I think, we're very blessed to have amazing leaders, both at the management level as well as senior leadership, who are very open to just connect with young leaders across the organization, whether it be over coffee, virtual coffee, or even opening up their practices so that these individuals can see firsthand how some of the retina specialists here at Ocular Therapeutix are seeing and treating these retinal diseases that hopefully we hope to transform the future for. So I think one of the benefits of this informal growth and development is when you're constraints with headcount, it allows a lot of flexibility. So you can almost share headcount with a different function and be able to creatively assign roles, responsibilities to an individual to stretch them, help them maybe challenge themselves a bit more with staying net neutral with the headcount.
I think that's an excellent point, Nicole, and something I hadn't thought of. So I love this approach because it hits so many wins, not only for the employee, but the company as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to go back to the informal side of things versus the formal. When you're talking about rotations, work streams, et cetera, do you have, or could you, I know this is on the fly, a specific example of someone that went through that process and kind of came out the other side and was ready to lead? I would just love to hear an example for the audience.
Yeah, no, I would love to share. There's a young lady who was actually on the project management side of the business. She had dabbled in some projects in and around congresses, meeting support, and she really had in her development plan to join a marketing group and or division. So when I met this individual, learned about what are her experiences, but also what are her, hopes for what she had a true passion for on the marketing side. I went to HR and we built out essentially a rotation for her for 6 months. Within that rotation, we assigned her different roles, responsibilities, and projects that she could lead while immersing her in all of the facets of the business. So she was able to be part of our recent corporate branding initiatives, helping us to launch a new website, but also working on some of our market strategy work. And as a result, we were able to carve out a new role that she can now permanently lead as part of the retina marketing team at Ocular Therapeutix.
Oh my goodness. I just love that. I think that is so smart and something that I personally feel companies should do a little bit more work in terms of employee development and really looking at what their true passion, what they really want to be doing, while also immersing them in all the facets of the business. Because I think no matter what direction you want to go, having all of that experience can only make you better in that specific area, such as marketing.
Yeah, and I think the onus kind of comes on each one of us to identify not only an opportunity, but a need and go to your HR business partners and map out, I have this idea. And I think having that flexibility to create or design new roles and opportunities to help these individuals grow, develop, but gain the experience is so meaningful and just really eases the transition into a more permanent position.
That's wonderful. And I love touching on, I think that can really foster creativity and innovation within an organization if you approach it like you have been. So I think that's amazing. So good for you.
Thank you. And I think with fresh eyes, you get fresh perspective. And anytime
100%.
you can, pull in different experiences, I think it only elevates the final output of whatever you're working on.
Absolutely. And I think, I want to end on that note because I think that was highly, highly informative. So I want to summarize for everyone that kind of informal work stream kind of process that you highlighted, I think would be beneficial for many companies out there if you're not doing it already. And then, we're going to end this Inside the Owl Studio session with some fun questions for you, Nicole. Um, what is your favorite word in eye care?
Favorite word would be vision. I think one, what it means to patients, both personally or even professionally, but also what it means to the retina community to not only be able to restore, but preserve it. And the meaning that it has on patients, I think is very impactful.
I totally agree. On the flip side of that, what is your least favorite word?
I'm sure won't come as a surprise, probably the opposite of that, blindness. You read so many different articles or, different insights or reports around the impact that blindness can have, not only on patients' emotional, social aspects, but also those care providers, family members that engage
Yeah,
with these individuals every day. It definitely has a multiplicative effect.
absolutely. Um, so if you could do another role in our eye care industry here, what would you like to attempt and why?
Oh, I think that I would love to be a clinical trial investigator. And the reason for that is I think to be on the forefront of the future of what's possible provides so much meaning, but also to really redefine, potential treatments, approaches, and ultimately outcomes for patients would be something that would be very exciting.
I agree. I agree because really, at the end of the day, it is the patient outcomes that we're all here for. So I think that's excellent. On the flip side of that, what role would you not want to pursue and why?
Tough question. I think it would have to be legal, a lawyer. So many things to consider, so many risks to manage. Definitely not suited for me. But again, I've worked with some really amazing legal partners and give them all the credit in the world.
Yes, absolutely. I hear you. And I think I would answer that question probably exactly the same. If you could do any one thing to contribute more to kind of diversity and leadership or authentic leadership in our space here, what would it be?
I think for me, it's lead by example. And I don't mean just role model, but I think along my career, really taking the mistakes and the learnings and sharing those. I think when you find a leader that's vulnerable and shares their own personal examples and how they've learned from those, and then bring the team together based on their experiences or expertise and leverage that for more, I would say, inclusive collaboration. I think one, it makes everyone feel a part of what you're working on, but also it gives them, I think, the vulnerability to themselves make mistakes, learn from them, and grow.
I love that. I love that. And it's so funny. We just had a Southern California OWL chapter meeting on failing. And it was really interesting. And I think there were a lot of key takeaways from that program. So those of you out there, go online and look that up. I think we're to the last. This is your surprise question, Nicole.
Okay.
And this is just my favorite question. So I'm going to ask it again.
Okay.
Um, if you could be a beverage, what beverage would you be and why?
I think if I had to pick a beverage, I would be an Aperol Spritz. I think in the midst of summer here in the Northeast, it's been quite hot, and I can't think of
Yes.
anything else that would be more refreshing yet colorful to brighten the day.
Perfect. I love it. And I love Aperol spritzes. So that's amazing. Well, I think that wraps up our Inside the Owl Studio session for today. But Nicole, thank you so much for your time. And thank you to Ocular Therapeutix for your support of Owl. It means the world to us. And I hope to see you soon in the future.
Thank you so much.